Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at the Stride MQTT Gateway Modbus RTU TCP. Now, detailed information contained in the video can be found at accautomation.ca. A link has been put in the description below. If you've not watched the other videos yet, there'll be links in the description below that will start you at video 1. There will also links to the rest of the videos in the series as well. So, up on my screen here, you will see that we have our Mosquitto Broker started and waiting. We also have a communication link into our Stride MQTT Gateway, which uses a web browser, and you point to the default address, which is 192.168.1.100. So if we actually look at the hardware that we have, here we go. And the hardware itself, we have over here our power supply that goes into our MQTT Gateway. Then it's 24 volt. Then we also have our RS485, which is our serial twisted pair going into our solo process temperature controller. And it's set up. We have a present value of 22.6 and a set value of 30.00. So that is our setup, and we have our Ethernet connection right here, RJ45, which is going back to our computer. So the first thing we have to do is we will communicate from our Stride, so we'll be setting it up in order to communicate to our Solo via Modbus RTU, and that will get the information, and then that will be communicated back to our Mosquitto Broker. So the first thing we need to do is log into our unit. So once we power this up, it defaults into the password called password. And it will log in. And because it's a default, it'll actually ask for now a new password. So the old password and our new password. We'll just call it ACC Auto Information and confirm ACC Information, and we'll save that. So once it's saved, that's our new password for our device. And right now we have no devices been configured. So the first thing we'll do is just go to our network interface. And under network interface, here we have a Wi-Fi interface right now. We'll leave that as blank. There's our MAC address for our Ethernet. This is the default IP address, which we can now change if we wish. We'll change our preferred DNS, 8.8.8, and our alternative DNS. That's our name services. We're going to be using the Google name servers. And then we'll just hit save. Confirm that. So now it's saved. We go back to our network interface, and we can go back down here, and we can hit test the internet connection. And right here, it is available. So we've got everything set correctly. Close that down. Now the first thing we'll do is go over to channels, and we'll add a channel. And name channel 1. Our communication protocol will be Modbus RTU. Now our baud rate is going to be 9600, 8 data bits, 1 stop bit, even parity, and we'll leave the timeout and queue and device the same. If I go over to my actual Solo process controller, and we will just look at the parameters that are set in that controller. So there's my J, and we'll just scroll down to where we see our settings, which is here. So here's my communication settings that are on. It's set for an RTU. The unit number is 1. The baud rate is 9600. We have 8 data bits. We have even parity, and we have 1 stop bit. So that is our settings. We'll just turn that back into run mode again. So we've just verified or confirmed that we do have those settings. And we can just hit save. There we go. So now our channel is now complete. Now if we look at our devices on that channel, that communication media, we can now add to it. And our name will be actually solo. And the channel will be channel 1. You'll notice that automatically puts in Modbus RTU here. And our address ID, which we just saw, was 1. So we're just going to hit save. So there's our solo. Now let's go back into that, and we can actually then add the actual physical device and the location that we want on our unit. So the first thing we're going to do is put in a variable name, and the variable name will be set value or present value, PV, and the address of that will actually be in the manual, but it's 4096 for our present value, and that is actually the address that's published in our manual -1. And then our function code, we're going to read this holding register 4096, and then we have engineering units. This allows us to do some scaling on the values that we actually read and send out, so we're not going to use that right now. So we'll hit OK. And now we see our present value is now here, and it's a read only. So let's check that, and we'll put a topic. Our topic will be solo /PV. And our quality of service, we'll leave it 0. We won't retain that information. We're going to publish on a value change. And let's put a threshold of, say, 1 in the value. So that is the present value now that we've looked at it. Now let's look at and add a set value. So we'll need a read and write function, variable name, SV. The address will be now 4097. Our read function will be number 3, and our write function will be 6 with the preset single register. Again, we won't use any scaling factors on this, and our format is a 16-bit integer unsigned. So we'll just hit OK. And once again, we'll hit this check mark here, and our published topic will actually be solo and SV. And again, on change, we want to actually send that out. And okay, so then we have that all set. We'll just hit save. And we successfully edited our solo. Once again, we can go back there and check it. There we go. And you can now see my, since we've set it, you can see that my solo is now communicating on channel 1 back into my process controller here and getting the information. So these flashing lights here indicate my transmission, and there's no error sign, so everything looks good so far. Now the last thing we need to do is going to our MQTT, and this actually establishes the communication to our broker, which we have down here. So we'll put in the broker address, which is 192.168 and 1.13, and our client ID, we'll just call this ACC automation. And we don't have a username or password, so everything there looks good, and we'll hit save. Now you'll see that we're actually we have a green dot here, meaning that is communicating, and right here you can see we're communicating to our Mosquitto broker. So everything now has been communicated, and we are now working well with our gateway. So let's log out of our gateway. And what we'll do is we will call up our MQTT-Lens, which is by Google. And we've looked at this before. Let's just reduce that a little bit so we can see our broker. And what we can do is, just to make sure our broker is working, I'll put a little bit of heat onto our controller here and let it rise up a little bit. And you can see how we're actually publishing it because it's changing our broker. So let's look at our MQTT-Lens client, and we'll hit connections. And we will add our MQTT Gateway. Our host name is the broker IP address. We're going to use everything else as a random, no credentials. We'll hit create connection. So now we have our connection established. And what we'll do is we'll subscribe to our topic, and our topic will be Solo TV, and we'll subscribe to it. So once we have a change on our temperature controller, it will actually publish that, and you can see here that we now have it changed, and that's 231. That's put onto our MQTT-Lens. If I were to hold that thermocouple again and make it change, you can see how I'm now changing and writing information to it as I change the present value changes. Now on publishing, we can now put in Solo SV for set value, and our message, let's put the 35.0, and we'll hit publish. And we do, the publish then goes out, and it will then change our set value on our Solo controller. Again, we'll put back 300, hit publish, and again it sends it out to our broker, and our broker then sends it to our Solo to get changed. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below. If you have any questions about the video, please leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer it. If you want more information about us, or you want our free ebooks on numbering systems or robust data logging, please click in the link in the description below to get it. A new video is put out every Monday, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get more videos like this in the future. Remember to click the bell beside your subscription to actually receive those notifications. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.